we're back here for the second period of the second semifinal. Looking to see who's going to punch their ticket to get through to the final to play on and take on Team Blue. Team Gray picking up right where they left off at the end of the period, already into the Red's zone, and Red looking for a pushback. And a big collision there. Markowski, he able to hammer a point home. And here we go. Up Lamont goes. Lamont with the shot. Oh, it's a post. And then he comes out with a little pep in his step. And now we come back with a counterattack from Team Livingston. Markowski looking for opportunities to lay a little bit of body and expand that part of his game. He's already got the scoring touch ironed out, and if he starts getting a little bit of a body awareness, he's going to be very, very effective next season. And Schmier able to keep that puck in. And a long shot placed, unable to find the net itself. And that puck still cycling behind the net, and lots of heavy pressure from Team Gray, which was what has been their hallmark so far. And Hudson Grand now finds that puck in front, but he can't get it through to Lamont because Brio was able to pull that one in. And now that puck put in front of the net again by Drennan Blair. And we got a stoppage in play. Puck comes all the way down off the icing to the left of Noah Eben. Both goalies still in after the second period. Turin now goes cross ice. And Drennan Blair, he gets a shot on net, and that one cleanly picked by Noah Eben. 18-16 left to go in the second period. And in earlier action, we saw Team Blue completely turn around their weekend and upset the number one seed. This is the 2 versus 3 game with Team Gray occupying the second seed position, and they are living up to that. And Drennan Blair with some contact in down low, and now a break for Team Red. And that shot Partington, and once again that's gobbled up by Noah Eben. Events like this require a lot of support from the community and from sponsors, and we're really happy to have Witherspoon Realty and Ritchie Brothers, who have sponsored all 4 of the individual awards that have been handed out at the end of these games, and we'll highlight them a little bit more later in the broadcast. Mahalitz now has to regroup, and that puck shot in behind the net, and Eben, he's not afraid to come out, and he's already proven his ability to puck handle and put that back into the hands. Cardinal makes the zone, and now puck pressed deep. Cardinal still on it, and Lamont now, he gets that one. Sorry, not Lamont. Strain, and it's just fired straight back in by Olesko. And now Mahalitz trying to get something going here. Boston Unser pops it up. And that puck sent all the way down. It's been waved off by the lead official here. And so working his way out of the corner, Cardinal, and ends up on Hubik's stick. Livingston, and now watch Livingston work his way up here. He's got Guest with him. Livingston, and he is unable to get that puck through. And now we've got ourselves a break coming up, and Rogers now looking to center it, and not quite able to get it through to Kershane. Kershane continues to retain possession. Now Livingston with the break. Livingston's got Lee, and he's got position. Livingston across to Lee, and Lee can't, just too tight in there. and the puck stays out. And a tape-to-tape pass, Gray continuing to put pressure on those red defenders. And they have to be really sharp to get that puck out. And this time, Barber's got some legs here. Barber's got an open guy across. Rogers up. Oh! And somehow Eben gets across, and he got a little bit of the leather on there. That was a great opportunity for Red. And Lee back. And now a nice save by Thiel. And coming up, Drennan Blair from his defensive spot. And he and Kershane seeing if they can get anything going. And now Murkowski, we're going to get that name right eventually. Murkowski, he is able to put a little pressure, and the puck comes out and ends up in the Gray bench. Coming up at the second intermission, we're going to hear again from Connor Middleton, who is the Team Red coach. He'll share some thoughts on what it's like to be involved in this tournament and how his work with U15 athletes is very complementary to the work that he's doing here at the U14 age level. That puck shot in now, and it's Thiel, and he's able to just push it around. Sorry, Eben. Both goalies very similar in stature and location, and I'm going to get that mixed up a few times, but they've been playing very well. Now working his way in again, and that puck cleared out by Red, and it ends up on the stick of Kahovic, and now Hudson Grand. And Brio, he's up for the challenge, and now coming in, that puck shot and up and out of play. Case in Featherstone. Featherstone, he had a marker earlier in the tournament, part of that Gray onslaught of scoring, and Featherstone working his way in, and that one deflected out of play, and now we got Partington coming in, as well as Strain. Strain gonna take the face-off, and he wins that one cleanly, beating McFarland, and that comes around now to Drennan Blair. And Blair, he sees some daylight in front of him, and he is intent on taking it. He's had some success with these rushes. Drennan Blair, and he had a righty going up there with him with Strain. Otherwise, that would have been a great pass across to a left-handed shooter, but unfortunately for Red, that comes across, and that puck now finds itself on the stick, and McFarland with the hat trick. And he just can't miss. Can McFarland, and they are all too happy to put that puck on his stick, as he has done nothing but score goals for him. And so the hat trick, and in fact, I think it's a natural. He's got all three of the last 3 goals. And so that's a first for this tournament, a natural hat trick for McFarland. And now Fordham lines up, and Cardinal lines up to take the face-off here, and he wins that one. Trying to look at his stick and the way he is so successful there. He's obviously got great hand-eye coordination, and he comes in. Mahalitz now. Mahalit's shot, heavy shot, and he just goes wide. Team Red looking for something to get them ignited here. McGee's pass just comes up, but the puck remains in the red zone. And a collision there, Partington, and it looked like he ran into Guest. And both of them ended up on the ice. So we'll call that one a draw. And now coming out is Boston Unser. And he's all there by himself. And Unser, Ostler, Olesko is looking, and we'll hear what the score, and that's McFarland's 10th goal of the tournament. And Mantika was the originator of that pass across for McFarland's 10 goals in the tournament so far, and he doesn't look like he's done. And now the score with 13:22 to go in the period, starting to slant, and a nice response by Kershane, and he picks up his second goal. Kershane, just a quick release from the top of the circle. And Eben, I think, was figuring he might be going for a pass across, and Kershane just decided to put a hard shot, quick release, and that gives a little bit of life to Red, and we'll see what they're able to do with that. But a really good response to that hat trick goal, and Kershane with a multi-goal performance here too. And we'll see if Red is able to capitalize on that. And Rogers out, and as goes into Hubik's hands, and Hubik's still with it. Hubik coming in, and he shoots it, and even does well to make that second save there. And another shot, Red with a little bit of life here. I think they kind of were dozing a bit, and now that goal's fired them up. And Switzer, his shot goes wide. Team Grey now looking to get things going again, and they dump it deep, and they know that they can pin this defense in. But here we come, and it's Barber. Barber having that earlier rush, and it looks like he's gained some confidence, and he's trying to carry that back up the ice here. And now McLean happy to dump it in. Lee looking, and he is going to go. And both goaltenders proving that they like to get out and do a little bit of puck handling themselves. Hubik can't get that one past. And that might be Murkowski. And Murkowski out there, he is able to keep that puck in. And we're putting pressure on that. Hadfield doing some solid work down there. And now Brio over to Murkowski. And Murkowski, his shot get through and just misses. And Gray, after a temporary lapse, they seem to be back. But here we go, Kershane again. Maybe he's going to be good for a hat trick too. Kershane, and he scores! Kershane with a hat trick of his own. And just like that, we saw the first hat trick of this semifinal round. And Kershane, he's getting a lot of love there from his teammates. And that now brings us to within 2 goals. And you had to know, as soon as he got that puck on his forehand, he was thinking shelf. And that release, probably the best in the tournament. He is so quick with that shot. And now Red definitely feeling like they've worked themselves back in. They've already scored more goals in this game than they did in the first contest they had with Team Grey. And that D-to-D pass, though, Featherstone pops it up, and the Featherstone line looking McFarland. Now it's going to see whether McFarland or Cardinal or pardon me, Kershane are able to get a 4-goal performance. I'm pretty sure both of them would forego that for assurance that they're going to have a ticket to that final. And that puck dangerously close. And now we got that shot from Blair, and that puck deflected in front. I think Graham got a stick on it. And Red now starting to put a little bit of pressure. Hofield, he goes down. Hadfield, pardon me, Kane Hadfield. And he's working hard there. And now Turin pushing up. And we see lots of confidence in that stride. Turin, except for now we got numbers back, 2-on-2. And Lamont using some of his strength, and he gets enough of a stick there that he's able to counter that drive into that. McGee goes cross ice over to his teammate Olesko, and Olesko's shot is going wide. And both teams, after a flurry of goals here, starting to settle back in. 10-13 to go, halfway through this second semifinal game. And that pass, that shot gets all the way through, and Brian Thiel, he's able to keep that puck out of the net, steers it into the corner. And Guest now, he's got some time, comes out of the corner, puts it up onto McGee's stick. McGee over to Olesko, and that puck. And now we've got a break from Red. And this is Kahovic. And Kahovic in there with his line mate. Kahovic comes out with it. Kahovic. And he, as we talked about that earlier in the broadcast, he can make something happen. Just when you think things are going well, Kahovic finds a way to get his way through. And here we go. We've got Unser, Boston Unser now, all on his own. Boston Unser. And now Grant in behind, but at the end of a line change, he found himself all by himself, and that line change delay causing a little bit of problems for the Red. Team Red offside, and that snuffs out a little bit of a push back here. Now Strain will line up, take the face off here, and it looks like probably Lee will be taking it for Team Gray, just outside of Gray's blue line. 9:09 to go in the second period. A 2-goal lead for Team Gray. And Livingston, he has been so good at reclaiming leads and reclaiming momentum, and he thinks he's got that on his mind. Wants to take back some of that momentum. Partington, though, he's got a little room and he's going to get it out, but it's picked up, and back in comes Lee. Lee with the shot, and it handcuffs Steele, and he's having a little bit of trouble, and it stays moving with Team Gray being able to move it. And now there's Markowski, and Markowski gets it onto Livingston's stick, and Livingston, and somehow that puck stays in play, and Livingston picks it up again, and that shot, and like we said, Livingston, he almost gets that motivation just from getting a couple goals scored, and he has been a backbreaker and such an asset for his team. When a team, a couple times this tournament, we've seen a team start clawing their way back into making some inroads into Gray, and Livingston just slams that door shut like he's done all tournament, and another big goal for him. And now McFarland, the hat trick. Both boys with hat tricks at the face-off dot. And there's Kershane, he wins that battle. And that goal-scoring battle tied at this point. And coming in here's Kershane, and he rubs out Brio. When Brio is able to get that puck up onto the stick, and out comes that great breakout. McFarland pops it over, and that shot by Hadfield, and that didn't miss terribly high, but Hadfield getting that pass back from McFarland, and Gray right back to that pressure. Now Kershane, and this guy's taking his team up, and he gets into space, and Kershane, and he scores. And Kershane wants this. Wow, what a move, and he just roofed that. And that's his 4th tally. And that kid is possessed at the moment. He's got the hot hand, Cohen Kershane from Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta. And he lights it up in the Alberta Elite League, and he's really showing what he can do here in the semi with the chips down. And once, as we've seen all along here, Coach Connor Middleton puts out the Lamont and Kershane, or Kahovic, Lamont, and Grand line, and this line looking to get back in, and now we might see a Lamont break here, and Lamont wisely keeping it. He's going to carry along. Kahovic calling for it, and Gran had it at the sideline, and let's see, out comes Team Gray, and that's Cardinal, Jacoby Cardinal, and he looks to drag that across, and he's not able to pull that, and now we got a break again. This time Kahovic over to Gran, and Gran, Kahovic, back to Kahovic, and Kahovic looked to get that centering pass, and Lamont there right on his left side would have had a good crack at it, but up calmly comes Team Gray, and there's Guest on his backhand now, looking. Guest still in control, and he's taking a look, and he dishes it off to his defenseman, Olesko. And now we got a break again. Kahovic up to Gran, and we got Gran one-on-one. Gran finding us some space, and Gran. And back was Jacoby Cardinal, and that just at the last minute. Gran loves those opportunities, and Cardinal, now Livingston, Cardinal with the great back check, and he got his stick in there just at the right time. And now we are going to see 6 men, and we're not sure. You look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A little bit of a miscue from Team Red. Someone came on, and somebody didn't come back off again, and play whistle. And the discussion just basically was, who do you want to put out there? And it's Gruder is going to get 2 minutes in the box, serving the penalty for the bench. 6:15 to go, Team Red within 2, but Gray now on the power play. And And Team Red will be looking to get that puck out, and that puck pops up high, and Schmier dumps it into the corner. Mahulitz now working in there, and that puck now cleared, and guess who? Kershane almost sprung loose. He has a shorty in this tournament already, and he draws a lot of watchful eyes here, and Kershane almost gets sprung there, and you have to think that if he is loose, what's he gonna do? There's a bit of a mental battle going on here. He's gone roof several times, and he's gonna have a couple more cracks at it. You can guarantee that. We got another period of play here, 5:55 to go, and it's close. Team Red, you gotta feel that this next goal is gonna be a very big one. Livingston, and if it's a guy, Livingston in front, we talked about Livingston's ability to drive the nails into the coffin, and he almost had a chance to just kind of shut that door again. And that might be the break that Red leads. Red looking for a breakthrough. They seem to get close, and then Livingston just hammers it home, and nice save this time. Brian Thiel. Livingston doing his work, but Thiel, he says not this time. And a face-off lead to the right at the 5:20 mark. A couple of pitches here. Boston Pizza has been a fantastic sponsor here locally for the UMH-68. Boston Pizza, great food, good times, and proud supporters of youth hockey. And that puck down. Lots of action here. We haven't had any downtime in this particular game. Neither did we in the first semi. All 68 of these players really coming out and having a good opportunity to showcase their skill. Lamont putting the press on, and 50 seconds to go in the period, and Lamont. Oh, that puck. Nice concentration. Excuse me. Thiel steering it to the corner, and it hits Switzer, and Lamont quick to jump on it. And Red, if Red's leading the tournament probably in penalty kills, they're also leading the tournament in penalties taken, but they've done very well, and oftentimes taking that momentum bump with a good kill to get themselves back in. And there's a shot, another shot, and Thiel closes the door, and we might see that again. 22 seconds to go. Gruder in the box, and we'll see. We may get Gruder sprung here and see what he's able to do. That's what he's thinking, I'm sure. And we're getting a little bit of pad issues again. And we heard during the playoffs, I was listening to a podcast, and it was Marty Biron talking about how he approaches high pressure games. And one of his tips to goaltenders is he'd try to slow that game down, and maybe, I'm not sure if that's what Thiel's looking at, but sometimes you get those game smarts where you just give a little bit of a chance to settle things in, and whether he planned it or not, and the referee kicking out the initial, and that sometimes the response too, when we've got a goaltender who's buying a little bit of time, we have to get our second draw guy out, and that cleanly won. And now we've got Hudson Gran, he's coming up. And Red now, 7 seconds to go in the penalty kill, and we're gonna get one last rush here potentially, and it's McFarland. And McFarland has been good at putting that puck in, and he now puts it in, and McFarland, I think that is either going to get him into hat-trick territory or very close. He's been multi-goal performer this tournament as well. And once again, a 3-goal lead established for Team Grey. And we've seen this from them all tournament. A couple of goals go in, and then Grey finds a way to just continue to maintain that buffer. And a quick snapper, and there is Jacoby Cardinal, his shot going wide. And we're gonna see if we can get a pushback shift here. This time, Boston Unser. And there's Kahovic. Kahovic by himself. Kahovic. And he's holding his wrist, and we might get ourselves a slash here. Kahovic going in. These guys, these little guys, they've got some shooting ability, but you'd almost wish they'd shoot that puck a little sooner. This might just be what Team Red was looking for, and he's got a little bit of a stinger there, and he'll go and get some attention. But he's putting his team back on the power play, and this might get a chance for Team Red to get back in it. And Kershane taking the draw here. He's already got 4 in the contest. Could he put 5 in? We're not sure, but I wouldn't put it past him. Rogers battling down there, and now Team Gray. Lee wisely steering it back all the way to Thiel. And Thiel puts it on the stick. Coming out of his zone, Turin. That puck put deep. And we'll see whether Rogers not able to get in. And that puck gets put right back out. And Thiel stopping it, putting it up on a tee and letting his defender come out. And this is Turin again. And he's knocked off the puck.
His 4th of the game and 11th
and Livingston.
Number 17, Thomas McFarland.
And now Gruder. And Gruder's puck. He's looking for Kershane there. And a little bit of a regroup. And on the special teams end of things, Team Red has not had a lot of experience on the power play. They've been killing penalties galore, but the power play, different animal. And once again, they just can't seem to find their scoring touch. And Partington now, Partington, Strain, and Unser. We'll see if they can get a little bit happening with that, a little bit more open ice for themselves. And now looking to get up Gruder. And that's an awkward spot to put the puck, and that'll go for an icing. And that brings us 2:23 to go in the second period. Team Gray still holding that 3-goal lead that they established after the first. But a good shift, even period for Team Red. They keeping themselves in this one. Ritchie Brothers Auction, we're proud to have them as the official sponsor of the 3 Stars a game at UMH-68 Saskatchewan, recognizing top performers. And we've got a couple of really great performances here already. A couple hat tricks and 1 4-goal effort. And Mahulets, and that blown down, it was deemed to be off of a high stick. And we'll get a face-off with 2:10 to go to the left of Thiel. And we're getting deep into the tournament now. All teams getting close to playing that 4 full games, and they'll get a good night's sleep hopefully tonight before the medal rounds tomorrow. We're still looking for the second participants in both the bronze and gold medal games. And that puck coming out, Strain, he dishes it off, and the penalty comes to an end. And now Brio looking for the centering pass, and he's unable to find it. Now coming around, I think this is McGee. Actually, it was Eli Mantica with the clearance. Switzer has to go all the way back into his own zone. Looking up to Mahulets. Now up to Strain. Strain gets the zone. Looking. Strain actually getting himself into a scoring shot and wasn't able to get it. And now Mahulets. Mahulets can walk this in. And he shoots it. And a tip in front. And Boston Unser. Mahulets taking a little bit extra time. And Unser able to use that to get himself into position. And he just not able to beat Eben. Noah Eben able to get down there, and that puck was tipped, but positionally he wasn't going to get very much out of that. And he had the wickets closed even, both legs tight. And a good save by Eben, and keeps that puck out of the net. Shots on goal at the moment, Gray dominant in that category, 32 shots compared to 18 from Team Red. And last minute called here, Olesko rings it around, and Gruder stops it at the board, but Featherstone able to get it out now. We got a break. McFarland and Hadfield, and McFarland, and McFarland feeds it across, and that broken up by our defense pair. Barber looked to be in there, and now we got Hudson Ground. Hudson Ground with a shot, and to follow up Kahovic. And Ground's shot. Ended up right there on the doorstep at McFarland now. McFarland looking. And we're winding down here, 18 seconds to go. We've seen some last minute goal scoring in several games here, and watch out, that one almost finds the back Hadfield. Hadfield, and that puck comes out, and we're gonna wind down. And we come to the end of the second period. And you make sure you stay tuned. We're gonna give you the scoring summary, and then we're gonna hear from Coach Jason Gordon, head coach of the Yorkton Kinsman Maulers AAA team. We'll have an interview with him at our second period scoring. And the second period goal summary for this last game, Red taking on Gray, game 8 in Martensville. A couple of goals here to blow things open a little bit, and that started Thomas McFarland with the assist in Cason Featherstone, and then Cord Kershane goes on a bit of a tear with 2 goals, one out of 13-15 marks from Brooke Mahalik and Jonah Gruder, and then again Nolan Hubick giving it to Cohen Kershane. That's his hat-trick goal. Then RJ Livingston, as he's done so often, stealing the momentum back with the feed from Carter Schmer and Zach Markowski. And then Cohen Kershane nets his 4th at the 7:50 mark. And then Thomas McFarland, he gets in there with his 4th at 4:10. Both players exchanging goal-scoring prowess. So we've got 4 from McFarland, 4 from Kershane, and that brings us 7-4 with Gray, and we're going into the second. Gray up, looking to be the second team into that gold medal final. And we're pleased to welcome Jason Gordon, the head coach of the U18 AAA Yorkton Kinsman Maulers, all the way here from Yorkton. What brings you to the event today?
Well, I'm pretty excited to be here. Obviously, when Hugh Hamilton had reached out initially, seemed like a great opportunity to meet more players and learn from coaches, and having that up my hockey mindset is something that we really believe in with our team in Yorkton, and it was just something I really wanted to be a part of. So it was very easy to get here, and facility's beautiful, and the players that are all here are really dialed in to become better players.
Awesome. Well, you've had a game under your belt in the practice, but still a little early on. How do you get chemistry with this short a time frame with kids?
Yeah, kids start to find confidence, and for us, you know, a lot of the little things that we're doing in the dressing room, we're trying to take the best things from all of our teams, leaning on our ambassador, Tyrone Sobry, and then bringing in some extra guys just to kind of, you know, give some kids some different ideas and let them kind of feel more comfortable with each other. And the number one way that you have a lot of quick chemistry is just having fun together and finding those line mates and communicating really good with each other.
Well, you guys have a lot of firepower. It's, you know, you had a pretty successful first game, if we could say that. And how do you keep them, you know, how do you, like if you've got a team that's overpowering another team, how do you kind of keep the game competitive? How do you keep it a learning environment for your players?
Yeah, for us, we're trying to teach so much. Like, you come into it with one practice, and you know, guys are wanting to know various different things along the way, and we just want them to play, you know, with as much passion as they can. And one of the things that we said to them off the start is, we could go through every system in the world right now, but hard work will beat most systems. So if we work hard and we're prepared to do that in every shift there, we're going to continue to have success. And I know you get that first game under your belt, and you just have to chalk it up as one game, because it's a long road here. You know, 5 games in 3 days on the young bodies is going to be a challenge too. So we just want to make sure they're taking care of themselves on the ice and off the ice, and the whole crew's done a great job to make sure that there's people in place to help our players.
Just so much of this is about what we're seeing here on the ice, but half the experience this weekend is the off the ice stuff, and I imagine the same holds true for your position with the Maulers. How important is that off ice teamwork and as an individual player?
Well, it's definitely a key part that we really focus on with our group too. We lean on a lot of mindset coaches. We have mental health advocates that work with our players throughout the year. We want to make sure that they're taken care of in their billets throughout the hockey season too. So the off-ice part really translates to the on-ice part so much. So, you know, when we go through things over time, a lot of the coaches in our league very coach similarly. I've heard that from many coaches over the years that a lot of the stuff, there's no secret sauce. It's just a matter of, you know, applying it into the game situation and ensuring that our players have that mindset to play hard. So when you talk about the skills are a big part of it, and I know Courage Bear mentioned it last night at the player banquet, is, you know, if you could spend money in June and July on getting your mind in the right place, it's going to translate alongside all the work you're doing with skills.
Excellent. What kind of advice do you have for players, you know, the ones that you coach in a regular season, and these guys, about what they do during the summertime? What are some things that they can do to become better people, better players?
Yeah, you nailed it right on the head. That's the number one thing, that the promise that I make to the players that we recruit is we want to make you a better person coming through our program. And in the summer and looking at things, we talked about it, I know I mentioned at the banquet last night, there's 68 players here. If you were to pick one team, only 17 would be on it. So 75% aren't going home hitting their goals immediately. So if you don't hit your goals initially through the summer, are you going to get better, or are you going to get bitter? And, you know, for our guys, when, you know, they come into camps in April, you know, they have a mindset of hoping to make the team, and then training through the summer, and then making sure they're keeping up with their training so that when they hit into the season, they're not looking back saying, man, I wish I would have woke up that day and went to the gym, or I wish I would have, you know, did a little other things along that instead of maybe staying up late and playing video games too long. And that's a factor, right?
Oh, for sure. Maybe one last one. What's the next season looking like for the Maulers?
You know, we're excited about the group we bring in. I think, you know, we're going into our league scheduling meeting this evening. So when we go into that, you kind of get everybody in the same room, and all the coaches have dreams of winning the national championship. And those dreams were realized by the Regina Pac Canadians last season. So, you know, we have one of the top leagues in Canada, and we want to continue to have that. So the team that we put together is, you know, right here in Martensville. We've got a few players right here from Martensville that are going to be part of our team. We're a little bit of an older team here right now, and we're a team that has a chip on our shoulder. We want to get to the playoffs, and we haven't been there for a while, and that's the number one goal for us. And last year we didn't hit our goals, so guys that are coming back into the room, they know what it's going to take to try to get to the playoffs, and the new guys that came to our program, they're going to get pushed so that we get there.
Thanks a lot, Jason. Jason Gordon joining us from Yorkton, the head coach of the U18 AAA Yorkton Kinsman Maulers. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us here.
All right, viewers, we're back, and we are down into the last couple seconds of this second intermission. And like we saw at the beginning of this second period, Team Grey enjoying a 3-goal lead. That period was fairly even in scoring, and it really came down to a McFarland 4-goal effort compared to a Corshane 4-goal effort, both sides of that puck. Both teams would be looking for some scoring punch from somebody other than those two, although I'm sure they'd be happy to get it from either or. And there's Corshane himself right there, taking the draw. Ian Cardinal. And puck already back in, and it is late in June, and so the ice plant guys have done a phenomenal job keeping here, but we are seeing a little bit of stickiness, and so some of that contention factoring here early. Cardinal now, he's not having any problems with that. He's able to get that puck up high to the point, and that goes right to Schmier, and Schmier puts it right on Thiel, and Thiel, he snaps and snags that one, and 19:33, 27 ticks come off the clock. And we'll see what both coaches have said to their teams and the adjustments. Winner of this game will go through to play Team Blue in the gold medal final and get a chance to raise that nice UMH-68 trophy that's sitting right behind us here on the mezzanine level. And if you want to get a little bit of a preview of what that looks like, and here we go, we've got a break here now, and a goal! And just like that, Nolan Hubick, we said going in, I said we need to get some scoring punch from somewhere else, and Hubick is that guy. And Corshane right behind him. I'm sure he's happy to have some success for his teammate. And now we got a 2-goal game, and that puts a little bit of heat onto the shoulders of those great defenders. So they still enjoy 2-goal lead, but that 3-goal lead is always a tough one to maintain. And now coming out of there, Boston Unser, and he has had some promise. You just get the sense that this Team Red might be on the verge of putting a couple of pieces together. What a effort to keep that puck in. Let's see if it comes up with something. And Unser, his shot off the side of the net. And puck down now, and it's on Barber's stick, and Barber puts it on net. And that one just outside of Unser. Keeping in mind that we're still dealing with a little bit of borrowed time here for Red. That puck almost out. And Red still with the pressure, and now we got Lee.
Team Red goal scored by number
And right away, here it comes again, and back on the stick. This time it's on the stick of McLean, and McLean and Livingston. Every time Red's gotten a little momentum, we've had some pushback from Grey, and we'll see if Red's able to sustain this push and get this to within 1. Puck out to Livingston, and he can't get it. Now Switzer, he's going to go all the way back, and they deemed that he was close enough to touching that they wave off the icing. Now Switzer, long pass, and that one Red. And they'll try again, reset. And that puck goes up to Kahovic. Kahovic over to Rogers. And this might be a slight change in lineups here as we've got Rogers, Kahovic, and out in front, Granda. Kahovic, and he couldn't get it there, and now we got a little bit of a move here, Grand. And so this might be one slight adjustment to the line setup, and that might be working. Grand now, he's got 3 speedsters out there, and this might just be one of those one-offs that sometimes a coach tries, but you got to try something here to get this game back in. And there's Hudson Grand, or pardon me, Kahovic. Kahovic gets it deep, and now in goes Rogers, and Kahovic comes off, and out comes Turin and Hubick, the goal scorer early in this third period. Hubick, he had a big thing, and there's a turnover, and that puck launched high and up off the glass. And we're going to see continued a little bit of pressure here now. Some of the Red pushback, and Mahalitz now gets it up. And a good clear in there by Gran. And we're back to Lamotte, and they might have reassembled this thing. Mahalitz to Lamotte. Lamotte right there on the doorstep. Gran. And the net off its mooring, and Hudson Gran very nearly, and he just looks a little bit into the sands with some disbelief. And there were a couple bodies in play there, and I think goaltender Eben is just stretched right out, and That net came off its mooring, and that's the first time we've seen that happen. So a little bit of bad luck for Team Red, but they've come right back to it. And a little bit of a retooling, as we've noticed, for the lines here, and it looks like we've got Hubick and Lamont, Hubick, Lamont, and Kershane. And so Coach Middleton trying something different. And maybe that's the spark they need to get that and past the hump. And there's another save, and now, here we go. We got Lamont, a couple bigs on bigs. Lamont now, and that steered aside by Noah Eben. And you love to see this, the coaches having an opportunity to have a little influence, and they've reset some of these lines. Barber now working his way back, and Fordham, he's been a bit quiet in this game, but Fordham always lurking there, and Brian Thiel, he is coming up big when he needs to. And not necessarily you're going to stop them all, but you want to stop some of those tough ones, and that one was an instance where his team with momentum, and he had himself well positioned and kicked that pad, forced us to face off to his left, and now Barber gets that puck up and around the boards, and a chip out. Partington chips it up, and as this line remains intact and strained now. And so as we are approaching the 5-minute mark of this third period, Lee now in. Lee finds some space. And just impressive how these guys are able to find room with the margins tightening up here. We were seeing a lot more gap play here between the defensemen. I would say 5 or 6 feet. With our shooters had a much better time there, and now as we get closer to the end of this tournament, that gap is shrinking and not a lot of room being provided here, and I can anticipate that we're going to get that even shorter as we get into the medal games. And we're seeing that defensive play tighten up a little bit here, and Unser, he working hard to get there. Now we've got a break with a little bit of speed and a pass out Partington. And Partington, he's going to have to go it alone here for a minute. And Partington, he very nearly dragged that right into a shooting spot. And he's out there at the moment just trying to buy some time while the rest of his line comes out. And Switzer now, oh, just a touch offside there. And Grad, you know he is dying to get another opportunity to go one-on-one with that goaltender. And he's still shaking his head probably. He thought that one was a goal. And this one going all the way back. And I guess we will see whether this newly formed line is able to cash in on some of that speed that coach is looking for. Middleton has adjusted these lines here for the third period, and look at the speed. There's that connecting the dots there, and a little bit of that speed paying off. And so he's, not that he diminished his speed by putting Kershane and Lamont together, but he's certainly amplifying it here. Look at these three guys going in, and try going. There's 3 of them in there. And now we get that puck out, puck centered. And the gamble is going to be that we're going to get that puck deep, and then those 3 guys are going to get in and cause chaos, and we're seeing that happen here. And it's a pretty effective strategy. We've seen that before. You can't score a goal if you're sitting there playing defense, and these little buzzsaws are having some fun out there still. And that puck just over top of Hadfield. And now a spin moving Drennan Blair trying to get that puck out. McFarland already with 4 goals in the game and 11 on the tournament. They got to keep an eye, and that a little bit unfortunate. And player goes down heavily, and Blair goes to the box. He's not even contesting it. Just a reminder, lots of great video feed coming from this. We have the live feed, which many of you have said they are enjoying. Those of you who are here on site or those who are at home, we really encourage you to get onto that Up My Hockey website and subscribe to the channel. Jason's got all kinds of fantastic knowledgeable interviews and features and lots of information. And as your 12 or 13-year-old here progresses his way through the hockey world, it might be good to have Jason and his Up My Hockey knowledge working for you. And Markowski knocks that down, and that one will get blown dead. And if you're old and you can't figure that out, just ask your kid who's playing in this tournament. He'll know exactly where to find those highlights. Make sure you get access to that and you can enjoy those videos. And there's been an excellent series, about 90 seconds of highlights that Alvin up here is putting together. You want to get onto that YouTube channel just to get a look. Lots of features featuring every single one of these 68 players. And that is all found on that Up My Hockey website, the YouTube channel. Give Jason a look, and you might even want to take in his podcast, the Up My Hockey podcast. That podcast providing all kinds of great opportunities, and I know there's an interactive feature to it too, so Jason would be more than happy to continue the conversation that you guys have all started here at the UMH-68. His philosophy, of course, change your mindset, change your game, and that doesn't stop when the puck and the last whistle goes. He's committed to seeing improvements for boys and girls playing hockey all across this country. Lee now taking the face-off, and he cleanly wins that one. And puck cycling Brio now drops it back to McLean. McLean to Brio. Brio now with a little room, and he shoots that, and that one settles down, but it could have squeaked its way through the pads. And it stays a 2-goal game. 11:59 to go in the third period. And Drennan Blair, he's waiting. Those 53 seconds are a long time to wait. But we have yet to see a goal scored off of a returning player, and this might be a great opportunity to do that, and I'm going to predict that might be the case here. Gray providing some significant pressure, but we might get a little bit of a relief valve there with the good timing. Listen for that goalie's tapping to end this, and that might be the signal. And Lee just comes right in there. Good stop, though. And Brian Thiel has been on point today. He's had a lot of rubber fired his way. 42 shots so far, and most of those ones that have gotten past him, he hasn't had a chance to see. A lot of traffic in front, but he's kept his team in it. He's making saves at the right time. It's always a good time to score, but you know what? It's always a never say die attitude, and he's got one right there. And you just need one extra. No, we aren't going to see that sprung guy, but we are going to see Blair gets a chance to go up onto the point. And he's getting the green light, Mahalitz and Blair. We've actually got 3 defensemen out there at the moment for Team Red, so I guess Blair figuring out that he's going to probably play. One of them is going to have to jump up into the play here, and it is going to be Blair. And we'll see. He's proven, and look at him go. Blair. And that puck goes right in, and he's enjoying that opportunity. That puck up and out of play. Drennan Blair climbing out of the penalty box, and he assumes that left wing role, and he very nearly picks it up. And he's getting the wave to stay out there, and he's going to be out there with Switzer. And cashing back in, Brooks Mahalitz from Moose Jaw. He comes back. He's had a great tournament himself. Mahalitz has a very solid, stable defender back there, and oftentimes getting the stick and that outlet pass that's been so critical to the success of Team Red. And that puck goes all the way down, but it's off of a Red player, so no icing. And now Drennan Blair, we're going to see him headmans it, and in comes Partington, does well to stay on side. And now we got a 2-on-1 here. We're going to see a little bit more of this because Red's going to have to take it. And McFarland was looking for his 5th goal. Great stop by Brian Thiel. And that's a story that's starting to take its hold here. Thiel just locking in, and he's making those big stops when he needs to. And Team Red still life in this tournament. And that draw cleanly won by and Guest with the shot. And that puck, McGee going cross ice over to his D partner, Blake Lesko. And now Red trying to get it out. And Maholet's having a little bit of trouble, and now it gets chipped up, and Kahovic. And we're going to need to see a couple of guys popping in there. And Kahovic, he's quick to pivot and almost able to cough that up. But now coming back down, Cardinal, Jacoby Cardinal with the drag. Jacoby Cardinal, oh, just a little bit high. And that puck coming out now to Rogers. Rogers chips it out. And Kahovic, he's right mid-ice. And that one goes, and that's just the way hockey goes. Kahovic dumped, and we're not sure, we haven't seen a definitive call yet. And we'll see. I think they may have been celebrating, but judging by where the linesman's going, that one stays out. So we'll see that 8-5 come back down to 7-5. I know for the people in the arena here, we're seeing 8-5 on there, but it's still 7-5. And it's corrected now, 9:13, and that clock's sitting at 9:13, so we'll get that going again. And up the ice, we got the score down, and we just need to get it back. Livingston now. Livingston. And his shot, and good quick release there, but a little wide. And Team Gray trying to get a little bit more picky on where they're putting that shot, because Thiel's been up to the challenge here. And Thiel, once again, big stop there. And 9 minutes left in the hockey game. Team Gray holding a 2-goal lead. You remember that they played the first game of the tournament, and that result was 8-2. So we've seen a big rebound by Team Red. Let's see if they can come all the way back here. Kershane with 4 goals already. Taking a draw against Lee, and it's quick up into Lamott's hands. And Lamott, we've seen this line combo now put together, Lamott and Hubick and Kershane. And because of a couple of penalties, we haven't seen them out very much other than in the penalty kill format. Now we're going to see them back on a 5v5 fan. Here we go, Lamott. You got a chance, and he pops it across. And here we go, Hubick. And Hubick scores! And we said, Coach Middleton has made a couple of adjustments, and that line starting to find their jam. And Hubick with his second goal of the period. And there's life on that bench now, and Gray looking for a way to get themselves back in. And you watch that kid in the red helmet on Gray. He seems to have found his way, but he's not on there at the moment. Partington, Strain, and Unser, that line out now, and they want to join in on the party and get their names in that and even this up. And that puck, and it's waved off the offside, and now that puck goes up, and Blair, and it could be Blair. Look at Blair go. Drennan Blair, centering pass. Red ignited here, and wisely Eben pops on there and slows things down a little bit and allows his Gray players to get a chance to settle, win a draw, play a shift at a time. And that's probably the messaging here. Look, play your shift, do the things right, things will take care of themselves. And meanwhile, Red, really invigorated. Switzer now holding it at the line. Partington brings it inside, and Strain will take it down, and Boston, Unser, riding a little, and there's the turnover, and Red now taking a couple of chances. And Gray, last night's game, towards the end, ran a little bit dry on the goal scoring when Team Black got the better of them, and they're hoping to reverse that fortune, but Red wanting to take a page out of that Black playbook and see if they can't snatch this victory. They've stuck around the entire game and often trailing by 3, and now the deficit with 7:20 to go in the game cut down, and there's Blair, sees some open ice, and he's going to just go for it. And look at him get inside, and he gets that shot, and Eben, that wasn't getting through him. He had excellent positioning.
Be sure to pick up some UMH
And shots on goal tally still significantly favoring Team Grey, but Red, with those line adjustments, have really found some life. And this retooled line here of Gran and Kahovic, along with Rogers, you're going to see if that experiment yields something. That adjustment at the very least has already resulted in 2 big goals scored by the other line that has a new life to it. Cardinal, that's blocked, and he cycles it up to Olesko. Cardinal now coming out of the corner, and another block. Xavier Turin, and he is a block machine here. He is stopping anything. Nothing's getting through now. And Mahulitz and Kahovic working together, trying to get that puck out. And Turin, Cardinal now on him. Turin, and he just follows the play, and now up to Kahovic. Kahovic finds Rogers. Rogers chips it through, and now we've got Gran, and we've got an odd man rush with some speed. Puck on Mahulitz's guy. Oh, Mahulitz. He was looking, and there's Eben. He flashes the leather. And he's got to feel good about that one. That's a big break. Probably Team Red's ability to transition among the best here in that tournament. Now we see the second experimental line. This one already yielding 2 goals. Kershane wrote so much of that offensive story for Team Red at the beginning, and now it's Hubick who has gone in with a couple of amazing shots there. And we'll see if he's able to get himself a hat trick. We've already had 2 4-goal experiences, and Hubick with 2 here might join in that exclusive club. Goal scoring in clumps here, and working his way back into this corner is Jonah Gruder, and that puck comes up, and we'll see if Lamont is able to cough it up. And here we go. Hubick again, and Hubick, he's looking for that hat trick, but he doesn't care, and it's Lamont. And Middleton, Coach Middleton's experiment paying off here. He has bottled up magic in a bottle here and managed to get 2 lines invigorated. And the Strain Unser Partington line coming out, and they've caused fits too. That adjustment might be exactly what Team Red needed. And look at this, we're now tied 7-7. And 5 minutes to go. And this game can't end in a tie, so something is going to break here. And we're hoping that we can extend this type of play. What an entertaining game we've seen so far, and Team Red has dug themselves right out of it. And now look at all the bodies in front. Their intent there, they've worked so hard to get themselves back in, and they are not willing to allow an inch here. See if they can complete the comeback, and look at this. There goes Boston Unser. He might see Partington. Unser with the shot. And a little bit of pushing and shoving afterwards. Team Grey, none too pleased to have somebody parked right on the doorstep. And we've seen an uncharacteristically slow period from Team Grey. We can only bottle that up for so long, and maybe they've got some dramatics in store here, but we're knotted at 7-4 to go in this second semi, and we still have no idea who is going to move forward and play Team Blue in that gold medal game. And that right through immediately. This is the other line of the juggled situation, and we saw Carson Lamont swapped out for Rogers, and Cardinal now. And that Lamont-Cardinal line with 3 goals here in the third period. And this group here causing some issues, and there's a shot. Olesko, he almost breaks this open. And Jacoby Cardinal allowed to walk right in, and he saw that far side, and he wasn't able to get that across. And now, look at the puck handling, and Hudson Gran, he's been all over the score sheet to this point, and can he get Team Red over the hump? And that point shot now put on net by Mahalitz, and look at that, almost up. These two guys, all three of these players, Rogers, Kahovic, and Gran, so tough to get off the puck. Shot in front, and it doesn't work through, and now we're gonna get an interference penalty. And everything going Reds' way now. And Ryan Guest now, he's getting a gate and a timeout called. Coach Livingston, or Coach Middleton. Both he and Shane Smith, the ambassador from Lethbridge Silvertips, you can tell they're having a great time down there. And they are coming up with something. They decided to call a timeout here. And what have they got drawn up? Especially with the power play, they aren't content to sit back here. They want to win this thing in regulation, it seems. And I'm not sure the inspiration for that line change, but that made a massive difference here, as we can see. It's completely shut down the Gray offense and lit a fire under Team Red. And for the second straight game, we may see the lower seed come up with something special. And Gray, they're now rallying. And Lee with the draw win. But it comes up to Switzer. Switzer in front. That puck was rolling, and Lamont, opportunity, and coach going with the hot hand. But look at Livingston. Livingston has been a killer in this situation, and not this time. Brian Thiel read him the whole way. He knew he was shooting, and he came out, cut that angle down, gave him nothing. Now Drennan Blair, is he going to be the one who's going to be able to open things up? Lamont now, hard shot on net. And well done by Eben to keep that out. Back to Lamont again. He can unload this thing. And Drennan Blair now looking, biding his time, brings it in. Puck on the net. Oh, and a big save again. Brian Thiel, and with every second you can see people leaning in the stands closer and closer as we're getting to the edge of our seats here. 2:44 to go. And it's time for Noah Eben to make a statement. He's not letting anything go by him easily. Both goaltenders doing a phenomenal job. 39 and 46 shots apiece. That's a pretty heavy day on any given circumstance. And both fellas have done a wonderful job keeping their teams in it. And now that puck shot down as 51 seconds remain in the power play, and McFarland, who's been so effective here, 4 goals performance, and he continues on in the penalty kill. Markowski there looking to pinch, and that brought out by Barber, down now to Gruder, and he gets it on a Partington stick. Partington and Gruder. And a big stop there by Hadfield. And Hadfield, he puts his body on the line, and he nullifies that. And now Barber, we're getting some pressure here from the defenders. Barber finds Strain, and now we got a break here, and it's McFarland, a familiar story. McFarland, oh, what a play by Gruder. You can't dial up a defender one-on-one better than what Gruder just showed there. He just took care of his position, and one of the top, in fact, the top goal scorer in the tournament, bearing down on him, and he didn't blink. And now Hudson Gran, and will the birthday boy get himself a present? And he comes up here now, hard shot on net, and Eben steers that across, and Mahalitz there. And we got a Turin with the shot, and that's blocked. 1 minute to go, and Livingston right on the heels. And we may have to go to our first extended play scenario here. Mahalitz, he gets that shot in, 47 seconds to go. And we're down inside of 40 now, and Red pressing. And tight Hudson Grand now, still with it. Hard to get that kid off the puck, and he just carries it patiently. Hudson Grand almost. And Livingston, 30 seconds now. He's streaking down on his offhand. Livingston turns, fires, and he can't beat. Both goaltenders have just completely shut down. Both of all these shooters out here, and the goalies are now writing the final seconds of this story. 13 seconds to go. Livingston, and that's a tough call. And we're down to 5 seconds. That one almost. Boy, Lamont came in and he almost strips the puck. And we're gonna go to some extra time efforts here. And why not? Both teams have been phenomenal. Team Red just finding 3 goals. 10 minutes sudden death overtime. And there's going to be lots to look at here as we decompress. And on your trip home, take a couple minutes to go and log into YouTube and get yourself subscribed to the Up My Hockey YouTube channel. All this content has been placed up there. Relive all these amazing moments for years to come, and also consider getting into Jason and listening to his podcast, the Up My Hockey podcast. He's sharing all kinds of great next steps for families, and he'll carry on. And we're gonna go, it looks like it's 5-on-5. I think they're trying to assess. And so it's gonna be a 5-on-5 format, 10 minutes. And we see the period listing SO, but I don't think it's a shootout. It's going to be an overtime period. So, and we've got Thiel back there. Red's now defending to your right, same as they did in there. So we've got Red going right to left, Gray going left to right here from the broadcast booth, and Kahovic has to go and serve the remainder of that. So it's 5-on-4. And they're just going to check the timing because they have 2 minutes listed on the board, but that sometime served already happened. And we're going to take a look. We're going to go look at the app, actually. That's why it's nice to have that app. And we're going to see how much time is left. And I think we're still trying to figure out the format for what's going on here. Every tournament has their own format. And we got things sorted out now. It's a 5. We're gonna have a 4-on-4 format. And right off the get-go, Livingston goes right back to work. He is very comfortable in that spot. Lots of ice now. Murkowski, and that shot down low, and what a save. Wow. Brian Thiel. And it seems like as the pressure goes up, his confidence does too. And both goalies, this is great big game experience, lots of pressure, and they have been up to the challenge. And now Livingston, and Livingston over to Murkowski, and Murkowski to over to Livingston again. Livingston taking a look. He's got lots of room here. He's hanging on to it. And that puck now down low to Olesko. Olesko over to Livingston. Livingston with the shot, and again. That's going to go down as the 50th shot on net. And Thiel, you almost get the sense that he's just thriving on this pressure. He has been rock solid here. Both teams now in the 40-shot category, and we're going to get a timeout, Team Gray. They want to take a look at this, probably give their shooters and their top guys a little bit of time to catch a breather, and that's good news for Red too. Red, such signature of the event. They have killed so many penalties here. And I guess it's only fitting that they're killing a penalty to start this overtime period, and we'll see. They have proven time and again that they're able to lift themselves out of a deficit, and right now that deficit happens to be one less player out there. 4-on-3 format, 9 minutes, 18 seconds to go in the sudden death overtime. everybody in attendance thoroughly entertained at how things are going. Lots, if you look over into the viewing area, you see lots of blue hats and those signature UMH-68 polos. Lots of interest from Team Blue as to who they're going to face here in the final. And I'm not sure I would have a favorite who I'd want to see. Both teams equally strong in several categories here. That puck is frozen there, and Lamont killing off some time, and Team Red strategy. They want to wait, and that puck doesn't come out. Murkowski, and now Lamont. And what is he going to be able to do? And he's going to hustle himself back, and now in full flight, you got Murkowski. And Murkowski, he is trying to end this game himself too. And now Olesko goes on, and McFarland checks himself out. 45 seconds to go in the penalty to Kahovic for tripping. And we got a battle down low, and that puck brought out by Lee. Murkowski across, not shot, and that's kept out, and it's scored. And Team Gray has ended this one. Thiel played such an impressive thing. That's a tough one to lose. But it's going to be Team Gray. What an effort from Team Red, though, to pull themselves back and force this overtime. And Team Gray now celebrating. Stay tuned. We're going to have the 4 players presentation. We're going to watch, see how fast Hugh Hamilton, the provincial director, can get over there. We're going to have the handshakes, of course, and then we will have the game's Grit and Grind Award, sponsored by Weatherspoon Realty. Whether you're upgrading, downsizing, or buying your first home, trust the team that delivers results. That's Weatherspoon Realty. And the Ritchie Brothers 3-star selection. We're proud to have Ritchie Brothers as the official sponsor of the 3 stars of the game at UMH-68 Saskatchewan, recognizing top performers and celebrating excellence on the ice. And lots of gratitude expressed by both teams to each other.
Jacoby Cardinal, his 3rd goal in the tournament.
And Jacoby Cardinal being credited with that goal. That's a huge one. That puts his team through to the final. It'll be Gray taking on Blue. And Blue, you know, will be looking for a little bit of pushback after the loss that they endured this morning to Team Gray. That'll be the gold medal match, and then a bronze medal. A very competitive red and black squad, both looking to end the weekend with a win. We're in for a treat tomorrow. And we're going to get the 3-star selection. The Grit and Grind Award, a $30 gift certificate to Boston Pizza. And Weatherspoon Realty, the sponsor, and the Grit and Grind Award winner. We'll wait for the announcement.
Today's Grit and Grind Award winner is Team Gray, number 2, Carter Schmier.
And Carter Schmier gets the nod. Just a solid stay-at-home defensive player, and he is a rock back there. Oftentimes, that first outlet pass coming off his stick, and the 3 stars selection. And we'll start with the 3rd star.
68 Saskatchewan, recognizing the top performers and celebrating excellence on the ice.
And we are recognizing excellence on the ice. The 3rd star
from Team Gray.
Team Gray is number 11. I think that's Team Red. Team Red, Hubick. He got 2 big goals there in the 3rd period, and that brought them even. Of course, you remember Coach Middleton juggling those lines a little bit, and that gave Hubick an opportunity to have an impact on the game.
Second star for today's
And the
game
Stars now,
from
Team Red.
Number 16, Colin.
And of course, you got to give that second star to Garshane. He had a 4-goal explosion and a couple assists there too. And naturally, the first star probably going to be
from Team Gray.
Team Gray's number 17, McFarland. Thomas McFarland leading the tournament with 11 goals. Those last two selections probably pretty good. I think a good case could have been made for the goaltenders in the affair too. They did fantastic work themselves, but
sold at top of the concourse. Thank you for coming out for
tomorrow. And remember, we have the Sidney Crosby Award, which will be handed out at the end of the tournament. And that's going to go to the player that exemplifies the spirit of this tournament. And that Sidney Crosby Award will be added additionally on. And so we're really going to encourage you, if you've got time tonight, and we're getting you to subscribe to the channel, you can take a look at what the award looks like and what the final celebration looks like if that gold medal is won. Last week's event in British Columbia, I believe, you can see that it was Team Green, although they're wearing the grays. There are some great video images there, so subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give Jason's Up My Hockey podcast listen to, and find out some tips and tricks and what he's learned over the span of his career as a player, a coach, and as a parent. And we're going to see you guys all again tomorrow, hopefully, as we tune in. 15 minutes a little bit later start. We get a little sleep-in time on a Sunday. 8:30 puck drop for the bronze medal game. And that's going to feature red taking on black. That's going to be a doozy. Thanks for tuning in.